Man, this timeline is crazy, man.
I know. So many things coming at one time.
The FBI now believes Kim Porter didn't pass from pneumonia, and Katt Williams has been saying it for years. Back in 2018, Porter's passing was officially ruled natural by the LA coroner. Pneumonia, no foul play, case closed. Or so they thought. But in March 2024, after federal agents stormed Diddy's Miami and LA mansions, something changed. The case is no longer closed. The FBI reopened the investigation into Kim Porter's passing, and this time, they aren't just poking around. They reportedly found material that directly ties to her final days. We're talking flash drives, tapes, and personal documents. And not just any files. Some of the evidence allegedly references Porter's unpublished writings. Others connect to Kim's lost words, the memoir published in September 2024 by self-proclaimed investigator Katt. That book had one sentence that made its way around the industry like wildfire. Her final message, "He got me."
All right. Well, Kim Porter, that is Diddy's ex, who's also the mother of his 3 of his children.
Right.
Has detailed the alleged abuse that she suffered at his hands.
Oh, no.
And this is all in a memoir.
Now, it's that message, along with the trail of suppressed materials, that has prosecutors circling. The FBI isn't working off tabloid fodder anymore. They're reportedly sitting on a body of legal evidence that suggests Kim Porter didn't collapse from natural causes. She may have been permanently silent. And based on multiple leaks tied to the March 2024 mansion raids, what investigators found was specific enough, direct enough, and damning enough to shake the entire Diddy case wide open. What started as a solicitation and trafficking indictment is now expanding into something darker, something final. But long before the FBI acted, Katt Williams was warning the world. He said it in January 2024 on Club Shay Shay, right in front of Shannon Sharpe and millions of viewers. All lies will be exposed. That line alone became a kind of rallying cry for truthers, circling the entertainment elite, but Williams didn't stop at slogans. He said he had receipts, literal evidence. He called Diddy a demon, he connected the dots to Shakur, he claimed he knew what happened and why, and said outright that he'd refused to attend Diddy's parties for a reason. "You gotta tell him no, I did." At the time, that was seen as just Katt being Katt, dramatic, eccentric, maybe bitter. But in the months since, federal sources familiar with the investigation now say those receipts Katt hinted at, they've been taken seriously by investigators. There's growing belief that some of the materials recovered in the raids line up with the types of claims Williams made years before the public turned on Diddy. That may be why prosecutors pushed for the maximum 50-month sentence on solicitation-related charges, and why they're signaling that might just be phase 1.
I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Kid, I need another one. You here, get your number.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Here's where things really start to unravel, the memoir. Kim's Lost Words wasn't just a paperback on Amazon. It was, according to insiders, a hand grenade, a narrative stitched together from notes, voicemails, emails, fragments allegedly saved by Kim herself before her passing. Katt, the man who compiled and published the book, insists it was built from a flash drive Porter had left behind. He says it contained both private writings and, more alarmingly, videos. Videos that allegedly show Diddy in compromising situations with unnamed celebrities. The Combs family has publicly denied the book's authenticity, calling it fake and disrespectful. But others, including I'll Be Sure, Porter's former partner and father of her eldest son, say that book is the real reason Kim is no longer here. He called her passing a tragic incident in 2024. He said her devices vanished, her notes were replaced, and the people around her home that day were never properly investigated. He's even claimed that the memoir's pages were swapped to erase the truth, and that the flash drive in question was passed to Todd through insiders desperate to expose what they couldn't say out loud.
Why come right till today, right now, nobody knows what Kim Porter phone is?
Now the timeline starts looking very different. Porter was found unresponsive in her Toluca Lake home in 2018 after suffering flu-like symptoms. Her cause of passing, initially listed as deferred. It wasn't until 2 months later that lobar pneumonia was written in as the official cause. But that delay matters because it left space for speculation, for manipulation, and potentially for evidence to disappear. I'll Be Sure has also claimed he was medically silenced in 2023 while trying to speak out about Porter's case. He fell into a coma under suspicious circumstances, received a liver transplant, and believes that was no accident. That may sound extreme, but in the shadow of the Diddy indictments, the idea that people have been silenced to keep secrets protected doesn't feel far-fetched. Not anymore. We also have to talk about the raids themselves. On March 18, 2024, federal agents executed coordinated searches on Diddy's properties in Miami and Los Angeles. The headlines focused on freak-off supplies, lubricants, controlled substances, surveillance footage. But buried in the reports was something even more consequential. Investigators found private documents referencing Kim Porter. Some of the flash drives included drafts that matched passages from Kim's lost words. Others were labeled in ways that suggested someone had cataloged Porter's personal messages. One file, allegedly, contained the phrase memoirdrafts.k. That is now evidence.
Continued to engage in all these freak-offs with him, and he sounds really pissed off.
Hey, I really don't know what's going on with you, but I just want to just give you a heads up that I'm about to really disappear on you. You feel me? I'm not going to be playing these games with you at all, at all. So I don't know, you think you silent treating me, and you think I'm going to be, nah. You'll have a rude awakening. You'll just have silence.
Sources inside the Department of Justice say the timing of the book's release, September 6, 2024, directly preceded the most aggressive moves by federal prosecutors. Within 2 weeks, charges expanded, witnesses were re-interviewed, and suddenly what had been labeled conspiracy by Diddy's defenders started looking like casework. That book didn't just reignite gossip, it redirected the investigation. And then, as always, the industry pushed back. Within days of the book hitting Amazon's top sellers list, Diddy's legal team called it a fabrication, accusing Chris Todd of exploiting a tragedy. But while they were busy denying its authenticity, federal agents were already comparing its content to evidence pulled from the raids. Meanwhile, Diddy's children took to Instagram to call the rumors around their mother's passing false. They said Kim didn't write a book and that the public had turned her tragedy into spectacle. But here's the issue. Multiple people in Kim's orbit, people who aren't looking for press, say she did write something, that she had plans to go public, that she knew what she was up against, and that "he got me" wasn't a throwaway phrase. It was a final warning. We also can't ignore who else was allegedly trying to stop that book from surfacing. According to Al B. Sure, certain publicists and insiders at the record level made moves in 2018 to intercept or erase parts of the memoir. There are now claims that individuals connected to Porter's former inner circle swapped files, deleted cloud backups, and even attempted to plant false drafts. Whether or not those individuals are cooperating with the feds remains to be seen. But the investigation is widening. This isn't about one man's misconduct anymore. It's about whether an entire system helped cover it up.
So he put his hands on females, put his hands on producers, executives. That's just his. I guess that's what the whole name Bad Boy comes from. That people don't really understand. What is it? What is a bad boy? Why did he choose that name? Like he never really gave a clear definition of how he feels about that name. Not yet.
Behind that, Katt Williams' credibility has quietly evolved. When he first aired his accusations, people laughed, dismissed him, or assumed he was settling scores. But now, after the raids, after the tapes, after the book, Katt's words are looking less like rants and more like early testimony. Remember, he never claimed to be a victim, he claimed to be a witness. He said his refusals to attend Diddy's private parties weren't about preference, they were about principle. And if the FBI has since validated any part of what he said, that changes everything. Because let's not forget, these parties, the so-called freak-offs, weren't just casual gatherings. Testimony in court has already confirmed that Diddy filmed his encounters, that some guests didn't always know what they were agreeing to, and that surveillance footage from his properties, now in the hands of prosecutors, may include more than just compromising behavior. It may include people who no longer have a voice.
And this is the flight where Diddy said to her,
showed her the video, showed her the freak-off video.
He showed her a video of a freak-off that she participated in and said, if you don't participate in another freak-off when we get to New York, I'm going to put this video out. I'm going to send it to your mother.
And that's coercion.
She testified to that.
If the jury
believed her, that's coercion. They would have Cassie.
Kim's lost words has already triggered an avalanche, but it may be only the beginning, because according to court filings, the FBI's pattern analysis, yes, they're officially calling it a pattern, links Porter's story to others who've made claims over the years, claims that were ignored, laughed off, or buried. And if the book was based on Kim's real writings, and those writings matched evidence pulled from Diddy's private collection, the case shifts again, from coincidence to coordination. The FBI didn't reopen this case for old tapes. They reopened it because of what those tapes show. And what the FBI found in Diddy's homes wasn't just about Kim Porter. It was about a system. During the coordinated March 2024 raids on his Miami and LA mansions, agents didn't just seize hard drives and surveillance tapes. They recovered hours of footage tied to what insiders call freak-off parties. These weren't industry mixers. According to trial testimony, they were elaborate group encounters orchestrated by Diddy himself, where women were coerced into performing with paid participants while he observed, recorded, or directed. In some cases, substances were allegedly involved, in others, violence was, and the footage doesn't just capture the acts, it captures the faces. recognizable ones. That's what's got half of Hollywood holding its breath.
Good morning, Michael. At this point, we've all probably heard about these infamous parties. Diddy's assistant now giving us details about what he says were called Wild King Nights.
If those line up with what Kim's lost words outlined, then it's not about the parties anymore. It's about accountability and about who else might have helped hide the truth. Diddy's going to prison. That much is certain. But whether this is a final chapter or just the beginning is something no one inside the industry wants to think about. Because if the FBI's next subpoena reaches someone higher up, someone more powerful, this could be the biggest implosion the music world's ever seen. And we've already seen plenty. So here's the question we can't ignore. If Diddy isn't the only one with something to hide, who's next? Let us know what you think in the comments. Who else do you believe has secrets waiting to surface? Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and stay out of the dark.